of influencer marketing, or influencers in general anyways. You've heard of affiliate marketing, or affiliates in general anyways, but what the heck are they? Are they people dancing on YouTube or Instagram so that they can get likes and views? Maybe. Are they people who just pay out whenever they can? Sometimes, kind of. But I know that the questions irked me as well, and I needed to get to the bottom of it. And that's why I have Aya here today. She's going to tell us a little bit more about her, why this topic matters to her, and why it absolutely should matter to you. Aya, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Shauna, for having me. Um, Hi, everyone. My name is Aya, and I'm CEO of Vivian Agency. We're top specialists in affiliate and influencer marketing. And here is a simple reason why this should matter to you. Affiliate and influencer marketing works if done right. So that's the whole reason it should matter to you. Um, so the way I actually like to describe it, I see influencers as people who have impact, has the ability to drive purchasing decisions from their audience. That's for influencers. And affiliates is an interchangeable term, I'd say, or an affiliate is more of a technical term. So an affiliate of a brand is someone who promotes the brand products to their community and earns commissions from those sales. So that's more of a technical term. But an influencer is someone who has an impact and someone who's able to affect people's purchasing decisions.
This is such an important differentiation and an intensely meaningful definition. And I'm specifically the intentionally meaningful, I'm specifically referring to the influencers. So the differentiation, I think, is really important, because now we understand that affiliate is kind of more behind the scenes, promotional, gains commission, very intentional when it comes to collaboration, and we're going to call it traditional marketing. Right, more of the traditional sense of marketing. They're going to pitch your product, and when it sells, they get a payout. Cool, love that. So maybe we won't spend too much time on there, although it will have to insert itself, because there is a component of that in the influencer part. But I think the very meaningful definition that you gave about influencer marketing, specifically people who have impact, people who can sway the way their audience, their community thinks, that I mean, it could be scary. Let's be real. Let's call it what it is. It could be scary. And this is where I come from, it could be amazing. It could make so much positive change in the world. And leveraging somebody like that as a business owner, I feel like that's just smart business, which is why your original point of it works makes total sense. Oh, that's perfect. So let's talk about that for a minute. Let's talk about affiliate marketing, because how does that work?
In what sense do you mean, how does it work? So you need, like,
So
how would you go about it? How would you
yeah, I
um
would say, I'm going to give you a great example, because you are and you know this example because I've mentioned it. I follow people online. I watch them open their boxes of fun and they show it, and I know that, and this is where the affiliate comes in, and I know they get a payout for that because they've influenced their market in such a way that they would also subscribe to that box. And so that's fine, but then, how does one become an influencer, first of all? And then how does a business owner who may not be an influencer, how do they leverage influencers in order to grow their business? Just kind of that twofold, two sides of the coin type of conversation. Let's dive in.
yeah. How would someone become an influencer is by creating authentic content. I think the most sustainable influencers who have sustained their recognition, their connection with their audience, and still have that ability to influence people's buying decisions are the people who have started authentic and remained authentic. They don't really just push that many products. They actually tell a story behind each product, even if each single post that they do includes a product, but it is presented in a way that reflects their own experience, that reflects like a true story. Them actually trying that product, them telling the story about the experience without all the I have to say this product is good because I this is what I had to agree to with the brand.
Mm,
And the brands who are seeking these types of influencer partnerships that are not authentic, but you're just pushing them to do something and push something else to their audience, that's not really scalable nor sustainable. You need to build a good relationship with the influencer. You need to listen to them. You need to work closely with them. And also with the influencer, they need to maintain their level of authenticity and connection to their audience.
right. Okay. So if we're talking about like a solopreneur or a small business owner, um, who like for a lot of my audience anyways, a lot of us are either small product based or service based entrepreneurs. How do we go about finding the right influencer for that sort of thing? I mean, I'm seeing all these big brand boxes and stuff like that leveraging influencers, but I know that there's space for smaller businesses, smaller brands. How does that work? How do you connect people in that way?
So the way we would start this as an agency, when we start working with a brand, the very first thing we need to do is to actually do some research. So do some research about their market, their company, their target personas, what are the demographics, who are the best affiliates and influencers that we should be looking for, because all of that research incites the strategy. And you can't really run an affiliate or influencer marketing program without having a proper strategy. And your strategy should be um, always who do you want to have as your affiliates and influencers, and what can you offer to them, because you also need to have some value in order to be able to make those influencer connections, whether that value comes from your product itself, from your mission. Maybe some brands contribute to charities or give away some of their profit to a certain cause that aligns with the influencer value. So they need to provide value of some sort to the influencer, and this should be outlined before you actually start reaching out to affiliates and influencers. Um, so that's the very first thing to do. Do your research and then come up with your strategy. I think for services, from the outside looking at it, you might think there are not really that many influencers who are talking about this, but you don't need that many. You just need the right people, quality
Mm,
over quantity all the time. So and also sometimes for businesses, so I was talking to someone before about B2B, for example, services or B2B products, and everyone thinks that this does not work at all for them, that affiliates and influencer marketing is not. But just because you have a different definition of an influencer does not mean the same concept doesn't apply.
mm.
So for a B2B or for a service, the influencer does not necessarily have to be that lifestyle influencer on Instagram that's posting aesthetic photos, but it could be someone who's influential in their niche. It could be a thought leader. It could be um, someone who starts great conversations on LinkedIn, someone who is just a niche expert and has an audience or a community somewhere. It could be the smallest niche forums. All of these people are potential communities that you could reach through the right people.
And can you give an example of what that might look like? Maybe an example of one of your clients who you've helped to make those connections so that they can leverage maybe in a that small way that makes a big impact. Because like you say, it's quality over quantity. So get, let's get some perspective into what does that actually look like?
Yeah. Um, so typically, what we do whenever we are reaching out to affiliates and influencers, we do not really reach out to large mass numbers of people. So we handpick the people that we reach out to, so they match the target persona of the client or for of the brand. So that's what the brand needs to do. They need to find their customers in the form of an influencer, and that way they can actually reach the target customer. What would it look like? I'd say, for example, if we have a client that is into that is a SaaS tool or an AI tool, for example, which has recently started becoming more popular on social media. However, I'd say a couple years ago, it wasn't the case. There was not that many people talking about it on social media, and the main affiliate marketers for those clients would come from bloggers who are niche experts, and they are just out there grabbing every single new technology that comes out, trying it out and reviewing it. And those were the affiliates that started these clients affiliate programs. And then now we're joined by YouTubers and ex influencers and TikTokers and Instagram influencers, because the topic has gone more viral on typical social media. But when it started, it was not the case.
Right. So just making sure, and again, I guess this goes back to vetting your collaborator, because really it's a
Yeah.
collaboration. Vetting your collaborator strategically, making sure that you're both in alignment and you have a good understanding of what each of you get from the agreement, and
Yeah.
then proceeding in the way that makes the most sense to your shared audience.
Exactly. So whenever you're approaching an potential affiliate or an influencer, you need to showcase the value of your brand in general. So what value do you, what impact do you have on the world? So that's one thing. And the second thing, what impact would this partnership have on that influencer or that potential affiliate? So this is how you'd approach it. Even if you are a startup, even if you are a small brand, even if you still have like one product or have just started making some sales, you can still get affiliates and influencers by showcasing the value of your brand and of your offer as well.
Right. Okay. So I know that a lot of people are kind of feeling small potato about that, though. Like they're kind of feeling like, okay, yeah, but what do I have to offer? Especially if they're if they're a solopreneur, micro business owner, small businesses. Say, okay, well, what can I really offer? How can they have a competitive edge if they're approaching a larger scale influencer or even a niched influencer? Because there are going to be other people who maybe want to leverage that influencer in their niche. How do they pitch themselves to that influencer in a way that will actually give them leverage and advantage over potential other people who are pitching?
I think the very first thing they need to ask themselves is, why did you start that brand, and what are you doing here? So what is your impact? And I think that's the biggest value. If you tell your story correctly, and I'm a very strong believer in storytelling and its impact on the world. So if you tell your story correctly, you can beat a much bigger brand, just because you're very authentic. You have that really relatable story to the influencer.
Right. And you know what's like, I don't think anybody who's joining us today will be surprised to hear that, because this is really kind of a topic we keep coming back to in the marketing world, especially as marketing rebels. Tell your story, make your impact, connect with the people who are here for it, right?
Exactly.
Don't don't go and try to find whatever you think is the right way or the right people, because your story, your authenticity is going to attract the right people
Exactly.
for you, and it will help propel you and them forward because you're all in alignment. That's beautiful. That's exactly what I feel like I want and need to hear, and I'm sure that our audience can feel the same way.
Yeah, and another thing, your story is also is very strong, is great, but also you need to couple that with how you pitch it. How you pitch it is very important. So you need to actually spend the time in preparing your pitch. How would I approach this? Especially in the beginning, when you're just starting with affiliates and influencer, and you don't think that you're going to attract that many people, or um, yeah, you're just a little scared about it, offer them calls, hop on a call with them and pitch yourself and pitch your brand. Send them a more personalized email saying, this in your content has really caught my eye because this aligns with my brand in X, Y, and Z. Be personal, be human, and tell your story.
Hmm. Yeah, so what I'm hearing in addition to telling your story is build the
Yes.
relationship. Relationships
Yeah.
matter.
And affiliate and influencer relationships, when built correctly and when built on trust, you grow together. So I remember for some of our brands, when we started working with them, the even the influencers who were promoting the brand were nano and micro influencers back then. Now they have millions of followers and they're huge, and they grew with the brand, and now the brand is no longer a startup, it's a really big brand. And so this is how it works. You don't have to be this huge brand with this huge budget in order to work with a ton of affiliates and influencers, but you can work with the right people and you can grow together. And the influencers would remain very grateful to growing with that brand at some point, because that brand approached them when they were really small back then, and they grew together, and the brand will always be grateful to that influencer for supporting them at that point.
Yeah, that's so, just, it feels good, right? We don't want growth and scaling and conversion that doesn't feel good, because then you feel salesy and then you feel unfulfilled and then you're
Then
like,
you lose
"Ooh, I'm
connection.
successful and miserable." We don't want that. We don't know, but I don't
Yeah.
know anybody who wants that. I just want money, but I want to be unhappy for the rest of it. No, no. So build a
Yeah.
relationship, tell the story, and connect authentically. That is so wonderful. Now, okay, here's my thing, and I'm sure that there are going to be a lot of people echoing this. What if I don't want to do it? Like, what if I don't want to do the work? What if I don't want to actually, like, okay, look through all these influencers, find out who's going to be the right person? Because I know your agency, it, like, based on what I've seen, you're kind of helping in that space so that I don't have to think about it, right?
Yeah, exactly. So if you don't want to do it, and or you don't have the time to invest in it, because it does take time. And anyone who just tried to do affiliate and influencer marketing by themselves and just trying and erroring, they know it takes a ton of time. So yes, our agency does help start affiliate programs from scratch or optimize and scale existing affiliate programs. And not only affiliate programs, we do influencer marketing, sponsorships, user generated content, depending on your goals, and depending on what stage you're in right now in your marketing journey.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, because I could misunderstand. I often misunderstand things. I'm human.
We all are.
Right. Would it be correct or incorrect to assume that you have the capacity to play matchmaker for businesses who want influencers and influencers who are prepared to help businesses?
Exactly. That's exactly how I would describe it. So yeah, we're matchmaking, but not only matchmaking for brand, we're also like taking care of the program setup, and like having a full scalable system that's sustainable for the long term. So we're building system, but yeah, we're also playing matchmaker.
I love that. I love that because like, that's every step of the journey. You don't need to necessarily sift through all of the businesses or sift through all of the influencers and the affiliate people
Yeah,
and go, oh, okay, well, where do I fit into this mess? Because it's vast. It's vast, and the smart people are
it's
leveraging it.
huge.
Um, you also don't need to set it up. Like, I know that I have an affiliate program within my business, but
Yeah,
it's not super formal. It's more so like, hey, you send someone my way, I'm going to give you a kickback. It's not something that's
yeah.
completely set up. But when you've got something like an influencer who could be potentially influencing a lot of people to come your way, you're going to need a system. You're going to need something so that it's formalized, so that it's set up in a way that's going to yield success and not have hiccups along the way, because nobody wants that. Because that's not going to really nurture that relationship that you're forming. You want it to be smooth and easy, and that's what you help them to achieve.
Yes. So most important thing is to create a scalable system. So I know that whenever you're starting affiliate and influencer marketing, you say, okay, I'll do things manually for a few months, and then you end up having a ton of affiliates and influencers that you don't know what to do with, and it's a mess, and you can't track the sales, and now everything is all over the place. So if you're gonna start with affiliate and influencer marketing, start right. You need to build proper systems that are sustainable, scalable, and always think long term. It doesn't have to be fancy, it doesn't have to be this state of the art technology that you're using. It can be simple, but it needs to work and be scalable.
That's perfect. Now, we've covered a lot of ground. I feel like we have genuinely gone from point zero to potentially the
Yeah.
moon here in our conversation, because the impact of this is astronomical. So the thing with that, though, is that I know that because of our time restriction here, that I can't possibly ask you all of the questions to get to the heart of the topic. So what I want to ask you to do right now is to think just for a moment about what is it that I have not asked you that the other people who are joining us for this conversation really need to hear in order to move forward in their business, in order to really explore the world of affiliate and influencer marketing. I'm going to let you think on that for just a moment, because I want to remind everyone who has indeed joined us for this conversation that these conversations happen every week. We get deep into the nitty gritty of what does it look like to market when you don't necessarily fit the mold, or in my opinion, the mold is outdated, soul sucking, and we don't want that anymore. We want to break free. We want to do amazing things on our own term, living life on our own terms, scaling our business on our own terms. That's why we have these conversations. And that's why I invite you to subscribe so you can hear and get the little bell thing going. Hey, new conversation, come and talk. Subscribe so you can join. Leave a comment so that you can actually participate, because I know you have important things to say and people want to hear it. With that, I'll get off my soapbox. Trust me, I could stay up there all day. And I'm going to give the mic over to you. I am excited to hear what you have to say.
So I think that something that people expect from affiliate marketing, and it kind of disappoints them at some point, it's that it's gonna work right off the bat, immediately. And it really doesn't work that way. You need to put the work in order to gain those results. So when I tell you that affiliate marketing is huge and it can be great for your business, I'm talking about exponential growth. But you need to put in the work first in order for you to be able to see those results months, and these results are going to continue to multiply exponentially as long as you keep taking care of your affiliate program, as long as you keep nurturing, supporting your affiliates, as long as you keep building those relationships, coming up with new ideas on how to collaborate better, who else to collaborate with, how else you can provide value for your affiliates and their audiences. So these are very important factors in order to sustain things. And I know that it might be disappointing that you don't see results immediately, like when you run a social media ad or when you run a Google ad, but it is so worth it at the end. Yes, it's going to take a couple months of work until you start seeing results, but at the end, those results are so worth it.
Amazing. And let people know how they can get in touch with you, because this conversation needs to keep going. Absolutely.
Of course. So you guys can reach me at vivianagency.com, or if you scan the QR code or the click on the link that's going to be in the conversation notes, you'll be able to book a call with us at Vivian Agency to talk about your brand and how we can help you start or scale your affiliate program.
Beautiful. I strongly urge everyone to do that. Just get in on this conversation, because it's where we're going. I mean, we've been going there. So you're already kind of hailing. You're already kind of hailing the train a little late. So let's go. Let's get this party started. And I think that what you said is very appropriate and fitting for all marketing. A lot of people will try to sell you, and I call this misleading marketing. A lot of people will try to sell you the idea that you're going to get flash in the pan overnight success, and that is so rare. And in fact, I'm going to argue that it almost never, like, I genuinely have never seen it actually happen. I've seen people say it happened and prove that it's happened, but the problem is they fail to tell you about the 10 years previous when they struggled and they struggled and they struggled and they struggled. And then something changed and then they succeeded. And that's great, but you need to tell the whole story, in my humble opinion, in order to make it ethical marketing and not misleading marketing. So if you want it to be sustainable, if you want it to be consistent, if you want it to give you long-term growth, predictable growth, this is the direction we're going. This authentic, connective, community building, relationship building type of marketing. I love it so much. Aya, thank you so much for sharing this with our community. And don't forget, everyone, if you want to further this conversation and specifically hunker down on who you are, what your brand is, what you stand for, the stuff that you need before you have conversations with the affiliate and influencer scene, because it is quite the scene, then this
It
is where you
is.
can have a conversation with me. You can go to www.shaunalee.com. That's ShaunaleIGH. I had to think about how to spell my name there for a minute, and that links in the that links in the show notes as well. So you'll be able to connect with me, and I will continue this conversation to get you ready for the big world, the beautiful scene that is affiliate and influencer marketing. With that, I hope you have a great rest of your day. We will see you next time. Chat soon.